What's going on, everybody? It's your man, 100 Grand, your personal agent for change, making life easy, Barzini.
And I'm Fempreneur Extraordinaire, Tech Diva all day, Dre Renee.
And this is The
Crossroads,
where there's only one rule: be
free
to be
you.
So, y'all, we live. We got a different platform, but we all over the place. We're on our regular page, The Crossroads. We are live on YouTube right now. We are live backstage, behind the scenes on IG. We everywhere right now. So
we are in all the places.
We're at the crossroads.
We're at the crossroads.
Where all social media intersects.
That's correct.
Yeah,
that's correct. So, I mean, I'm checking my personal page just to make sure it looks like, we're live there too.
Right. I'm about to get the link to my personal page or whatever. So we always begin the show, our lives, making sure that everybody has access to the show. As always, on repeat, IG, The Real Show is going on Facebook. If you want to stay behind the scenes on IG, that's a bet. We got some people that like to stay there.
Yeah, but you can also find us, go to the link in our bio and, go to our Facebook page, or you can go to our YouTube page because we're streaming live from YouTube right now as well.
Bet. I want to share this. I don't want to share it to a page. I want to share it to a group. Why do I always have trouble sharing? See, that's why you the tech diva.
Go on and tell the people.
Right.
Go on and tell the people. So while he's figuring that out, I just want to let those of you know, especially if you are a first-time viewer, first of all, welcome to the Crossroads Live. Normally, and every week, we have a podcast episode that is available for you wherever you listen to podcasts, or if you watch on YouTube. Every Thursday at midnight Pacific, we drop a new episode. But once a month, the first Thursday of every month, we go live. And that gives us an opportunity to engage with you, talk to you, hear about, what you think about the episodes and what types of episodes you want to see going forward. So That's kind of the breakdown.
Okay. So I posted that.
Now I hear an echo on your side. Do you have me playing in too many places?
Not that I don't know if that's the IG. I got everything turned down.
Okay.
Facebook
I can live with it. There is an echo somewhere, but it's fine.
I don't know, for some reason my IG won't mute all the way. Like it won't go all the way down.
Yeah. Well, mine is far enough from me where it's not a problem, but I can hear it in here. So that's what I was trying to
what about that? Is that better?
I think I only hear it when I talk. Yeah, it's still there, but it's minor. It's minor.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's go on and get the party started. Were you able to share and everything?
Yeah. We live on all platforms. So, man, let's get it started. We did a pop-up live last week.
Yes.
We talked about everything that was going on with Derek Jackson, and I am done talking about Derek Jackson.
I think everybody's done talking Derek Jackson.
Yeah. He getting enough pub. He's still making his dough, no matter how we feel about that. But we had a couple of episodes where we talked about the 5 love languages and long distance relationships. Those are our last 2 episodes. So if you haven't seen those episodes are up. Love languages and long distance relationships, and we were kind of jumping in and unpacking those type of things. I think I talked about like the possibility of a long distance relationship where Dre has actually done it.
Yeah.
And consensus is like,
it's not for everybody.
It's not. I mean, I was
not for Barzini. He said,
I was about to attempt it. I was about to and I mentioned in the episode. Well, I mean, there was a couple of situations.
I'm gonna refresh my lip. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Right, you and this lip. Well, it was one like one. I guess just the way I felt made me consider it. I don't think I got to the logistical part of it, but I think I was willing.
How far?
Far, like Bay Area.
Oh yeah, that's far.
Yeah, it was far if I was in LA, and then the other situation was LA, and so I mean there are other situations to where like it seems like when I moved away, then people from back home all of a sudden were open to things and went. I'm like,
Yeah,
where
wait
was
till I'm
you at?
gone.
Yeah, where was you at
Don't
when
it
I was
always
low?
seem to go that you don't
Yeah.
know what you got till it's
Now you
gone?
got folks talking about wanting to move to Houston. I'm like, I'm
Stay
good.
your ass where you are, sis. Don't.
Yeah, I don't, and it's not about like, I just think at this age, and it ties into like my love language as well, like
Mm-hmm.
acts of service, physical touch, words of effort, like these things take proximity, you know what I mean?
Right.
So for me, it's like those things that I need, and I'm not needy, so it's not like quality time is not one of my love languages. You know, I enjoy quality time, but it's not like, oh, we don't spend enough time together. I
Mm-hmm.
just I think I was mentioning in the episode to where when we are together, when we do spend time, to maximize that time, you know, and make it
Mm-hmm.
count. But I don't need your every waking moment because
Right.
I
Right.
certainly don't want to give you mine.
Have mercy. It's so funny because I was checking the comments, asking everyone to put in their love languages. And I remember a moment when we were actually talking about those who have quality time and physical touch
Mhm.
as their as their love language. And
Uh-huh.
somebody said that that was there too. I was like, oh, go watch the episode, shall we?
Mhm.
We dedicated a moment
What
to
was the
you.
one? I think she said gifts, but don't touch me.
Right. Leave the gift at the door. What the hell?
Right. I was like, damn, is it because of COVID? Like, did people love? I wonder though.
Yes, Amazon
So,
Prime me, please.
right. I wonder if being in this pandemic has affected, shifted, or had people discover new love languages, because a lot of people aren't like maybe spending as much time, or maybe they're spending more time like, in trusted
Mm-hmm.
spaces. So it's like, I wonder what people are discovering about themselves and their relationships um in this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's why you guys are here. You listen to us talk every week, and we're going to keep talking, but we go live so that we can interact with you and speak with you. If you're
Mhm.
brave enough and you want to be on screen, then, hit one of us up. We'll make sure that you get the link. Otherwise, go ahead and, type to your heart's content. We'll read your comments here and discuss. Ms. Jones said, oh, y'all
Yeah,
fancy
fancy.
now.
Yeah, I can see the
I'm
comments
tapped
now.
in on this here YouTube. Well, welcome. Yes, our new live spot on YouTube. You'll be able to catch us now on YouTube, on our Facebook page. And where's any? There's another place we're streaming from. You wanna
Oh,
tell the people?
okay. Do we want to tell? Are we ready to tell the people what we're
I
streaming
don't know.
from?
I don't know. You want to wait till later, or you? I
No,
don't
we
know.
can give it to them now because they can actually like head over there. So we did mention that we have an announcement. We have something new for y'all. We're always thinking of new ways to interact with our tribe. And we're number one. Let me before I even make that announcement. Let's say this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we have a search. We are seeking input, polling our followers, our fans, our community, our tribe of what to call y'all. You
Right.
know what I mean? So it's like right now we have two suggestions. Like for the crossroads, it's like, oh, the roadies or our road dogs, or the ladies seem to like the roadies and the fellas like road dogs.
Bro
You know,
dogs. Maybe it's both. Yeah, because I was thinking, bro dogs, maybe they think, roadies might sound a little,
and
more
not, I
feminine,
mean,
and the guys want to be
depending on,
road dogs. I'm with it.
I don't know,
Road
but
dogs and road dolls. I
right.
don't.
But we're taking your input because what we've done is we've started a Facebook group specifically for the podcast where you all can interact, things that you want to hear about, talk about. You can post them, have discussions on them, and we're going to be in there reading your dialogue
Mhm.
and talk about it on the show, so that
Yes.
when you come on the show, you can see the things that you're talking about. We might take some of your comments and talk about them. If you want to remain anonymous, so be it. But we want to be able to have a good time with y'all and interact with you on a regular basis. We love going live. Our schedules don't allow us really to go live as often as we'd like, just by virtue of our careers.
Yeah,
So,
but hey, support this platform, and
and we
I'll go
might be
live whenever you
listen,
want.
right, y'all. We get enough support. We'll be live every day. I'm not. Y'all gonna be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be family. Oh no,
Okay.
I ain't gonna be drinking every night on the show, but you
Oh yeah,
know.
no. It'll be
Mhm.
sparkling water. You won't know because you know me and the famous tumbler. You never know
Right.
what's in the tumbler.
Shout out to Drea on TV. She's got a
Okay.
podcast as well called Life is a Trip. Listen, when I tell y'all she is beautiful, intelligent, and funny as hell. So y'all check her out. It's called Life is a Trip. Anywhere that you listen to your podcast, she's on the major platforms. So
Okay. Hey
shout,
girl, life is
shout
a
out
trip.
to her. She actually made me coin a new term for ladies that's beautiful and intelligent. I just merge them together. I was like, oh, she beautelligent, ain't she?
Have mercy.
All right, go on and smiles for the people. So shout out.
Yes. And I saw the comment from Carbon 12, one of our phenomenal sponsors. So we're hitting you with the
Right.
website for them, going to give them some love. Thank you for the love in on Facebook. It said to support this platform. Support, because
Right.
we provide real spit. We appreciate that. That is the goal. Transparency, honesty, safe spaces for these conversations. So
Right. And look, we need to get more men in here. So when we talk safe spaces, fellas, this is the safe space. Come and let us
it is
know
safe
what
for
you think.
y'all. You
Listen,
know, it's safe. It's
I'm
safe.
your representative. I take a lot of the heat. Like all the shit we talk about in the barbershop that y'all be scared to say, I'm gonna say it for you.
And some days I'm with you too. Some
Yeah,
days I'm with you too.
days, some other days it takes a little longer to kind of, this is what I'll say. This is what I'll say about Dre, and this is what I appreciate about her. She's got her opinions. Sometimes she's got her way of seeing a specific topic or subject in the moment. Now, after reflection, like sometimes I have to explain it differently. I have to come from a different angle, and then she's like, okay, like when you put it like that, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So she's not one of them that's like totally closed off when you kind of like change the lens. Whereas some be like, no, no, not
And no.
like, and no snatch. What is this? Where did this come from? Why do y'all be snatching? I call it snatching gnats. Like it's a gnat.
Oh, and that.
like it's a gnat in there because y'all be like, what are y'all reaching for? And then doing the clicking in there. I hate them. My kids do that. My little girls. I'm like,
I was gonna say I don't do that at this age. That
it's.
sounds something very young. But if you say your students do it, that's why.
I'll be
All
like,
this
look,
animation.
yeah, stop snatching in me, goddammit.
That's so funny. Hilarious.
Right.
Hilarious.
So back to long distance relationships. What would you care to kind of explain your situation of what you experienced and like how that worked for you? And if someone's actually in a long distance relationship or considering one, what are some tips that you can give, the people, but and women in particular, on how
Grabbing air.
yeah.
I'm reading the comments. Go ahead.
Right. Like you're in the long distance relationship because you did it as a fiance.
Yeah, man. Look, again, it's not for everybody. And you'll have to listen to the episode to get the full blown, I kind of went through a situation that didn't work. And then, of course, my current relationship and how it evolved. But what I would say, to kind of wrap everything up is number one, you have to make sure that both of you are invested in the relationship, because it's not going to work if you're cool with the distance, but they absolutely are against distance, or vice versa. They're cool with the distance or they're willing to make it work. And you're like, I really hate this. That's not going to work out. So being honest is number one, and both parties being willing to put in the work. We also talked about one of my situations was when I was much younger and broke. And, the distance was vast. And so you don't see each other as much as you would like. And, to really think that anybody, to think that anybody would go for, 9-10 months out of the year without seeing you and not, seek companionship elsewhere, even if it's not physical, they, might be caring, hey, dates or whatever, and then you find yourself in that kind of situation. So making sure that you're down for it, that you have the ability or the flexibility to see each other and close that gap as often as possible, and then having an expiration on the distance period. Like if you're just perpetually in a long distance relationship, that's going to wear on most people. Again, this is not everybody. We understand there's some of you that in the marathon, but for most people, they need to know that you're working toward closing the gap. Whether, you're both moving somewhere, you're moving where they are, or they're moving where you are, you gotta be clear on when that expiration is.
When do you feel like that conversation should occur? Because it's different. So like, because your relationship didn't start long distance, like you were already in it and became long distance for a time, but there was always the plan because you were already engaged. So it wasn't like he lives there, he was on deployment. So I think that's different from.
Well, we were distant before that.
Well, okay, true. But then you got engaged, and then so that's like the automatic plan. Like you already knew what was about to occur.
Okay. Yeah.
But you have people who like meet and they live, it's like they're not engaged yet. So it's like, do you feel like do the relationship for a while and then have the conversation about closing the distance and what that looks like, or like in the beginning? So like for me, anybody who's dating, like if somebody was just amazing enough for me to consider long distance, right? I'm not moving. You know what I mean? And it's not about
that needs to be said sooner rather than later.
Right. And it's not about like my lack of willingness. It's just like, okay, where I am in my life and career and everything else, like this is where I am right now. This is where God has me, like everything, the opportunity that I got here. This is where I am. So for me, I would need to be dating somebody who was either looking to move or willing to move. You know what I'm saying? And someone like me, I'm gonna make that known. You know what I mean? But I feel like also there are people who will say things in the beginning because they're in that honeymoon stage, or I don't know if they're trying to impress or whatever. Like, oh yeah, but then when it comes down to actually making that decision, they like shit gets real different when the decision actually gets like really real, so what do you say to that? Like, just should it be like get to know each other and just figure out if we like each other, or like make that known up front before they get in?
It's kind of hard because situations are different and so are people. Like I feel like this relationship that I'm in now, I could be forthcoming about my feelings and my intentions and what I liked and what I didn't like from the rip. And it was weird because, I had been used to dealing with people who I kind of had to, dig or wait and see if, when the representative was going to go away. And so it was like, am I being too honest up front? But I just felt that comfort and I received that in return. So I feel like it's kind of, you got to feel your way around. But I would say, sooner rather than later, not on the first date, right? Like we've talked about that. That's the equivalent of will you marry me on date one, right? Like we're just chilling. But I feel like, if you have either discussed or you feel like there is some seriousness to what you're doing, or if you're talking about being exclusive or monogamous or whatever, that's the time, right? Like if we're just kicking it, then have a good time, right? When you're in my city, we're kicking it. When I'm in your city, we're kicking it. Wonderful. But around the time that, you are mine and I am yours, or we're even talking about that, then this is what it takes to be with me. What it takes to be with me full time. I understand you live in Houston. I don't have a desire to ever live in Texas, right? For whatever reason, So is that a deal breaker? And for you, you're like, yeah.
Absolutely. You're right. Yeah.
That is a deal breaker.
Because I'm also not a mover. I've never, like, as long as you've known me, I've stayed put. You know what I mean? And I've only moved when I had to move. Like when I was in South Central, I was there so long, I forgot that I was in the hood. I was so used to it because I didn't. People's like, you need to move. I'm like, shit, I'm safe though. Like,
you're right.
I'm a hood nigga. So
my hood.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know everybody. Everybody know you.
Right. I'll say I'm not a hood nigga. I do hood shit. Like people that know me from different lives. Like some people, people who don't know me. Right.
I say all the time.
People that don't know my hood life and live in the hood, they're like, there's nothing hood about you. And I'm like, there's parts of me you don't know.
You don't know. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So But then it was like I moved out of the hood because I was forced to move out of the hood. Like that's when I was fucking homeless, and so I moved back to Carson, back to the city burbs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that is when I, got back on my feet, and where I was in Hawthorne at the time, and so I was always where I was for years. And then when I got the opportunity to move here, so I'm not even leaving where I am now until I buy something else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
mm-hmm.
it's for me, it's about the stability. And I know people that's lived 4 and 5 different places in as many years, and I don't live like that. So a lot of it is the stability and consistency. And so you have to know who you are before you can present that to somebody else.
Absolutely. And we talked about this, I think, a little on the episode, or maybe over the course of that weekend as we talked the whole weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to you about, positioning yourself and even your mindset about shifting, not necessarily having to move, but there are a lot of things that you are used to and you're kind of set in your ways that if you are going to be welcoming someone into your life on a permanent basis,
Right.
you got to be ready to,
Mm-hmm.
okay, as we call it, the Elvin Thibodeau, you got to throw your hand. So,
I mean,
I'm just letting you know.
No, I know. And it stands to reason that I need to make certain shifts. What those shifts are, I don't know, because that's dependent on who the person that I end up with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain things that I will not compromise on, so it's like cleanliness.
Mm-hmm.
Nah,
that's important.
I can't have a nasty.
He doesn't do nast. We don't do nast.
I do not do nast. What up, cuzzo? What's going on, my cousin?
Hey, cuzzo.
Shout out to Soul Full of Noise. Y'all got to listen. There might be something in the works with that. You know what I'm saying? But he's actually in town. We're gonna link up this weekend.
Okay, well, y'all be safe. Wear your mask.
Yeah. So
it's another. Is this the same cousin? They on.
Yeah.
They on. Okay, I was like, they on two platforms.
Right. They both probably on. He and his wife are both probably on. So
I love it. Well, hello.
Yeah. Nah, he's a trip. Listen, when I tell you that's my blood right there.
I love it.
But yeah, I think that just compromising on certain things, like someone who, because how I keep my surroundings. So somebody who lives the same way is important,
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, where are we going in life? What are we doing? What are we building? What are you doing with your time? Like, are you able to support what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And equally as much, do you have something that I can support? I can't be with somebody that doesn't have something for me to support. You know what I mean? And I think that's largely so you not giving me shit about what I'm working on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Have your own business.
Right. And so it's like, hey, if you don't have something, let's figure out what your passion, your purpose, and your path is, so that we can start to build that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, okay, boom, now I can pour into you, like, hey, let's work on this. I'm behind that 100%. So that's to build you, but and it's also for my preservation, because I got mine. I'm gonna do this thing. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody who's relentless as I am about progress, about growth, about development, So it's not about just getting with somebody and then, hey, we chill. Like, okay, like marriage is not the goal. You know what I'm saying? Marriage is a stop on along the way to the goal, to ultimate purpose, and now it's like, hey, I picked somebody up on my journey, and now we going together. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to PT Cruiser.
Hey, Portia. We love you, girl.
So yeah, I miss it being in the gym with Portia. We used to get it in.
I love it. So it was something that you were saying. Oh, so yeah, when you're having these kinds of conversations, right? Or how you are determining that this person has purpose and so on. I think that's all the same time frame that you are making things known. We love you too. Making things known, your deal breakers, those things that you're willing to bend on, those things that you're not. So, for me, even though I would not have chosen to relocate to this particular place, I was willing and I was the most able. So it was
Right.
like, because I love you, because I want to have a life with you, I'm willing to go ahead and do this, even though I wouldn't necessarily choose this for
Right.
myself. And so those are the kinds of conversations and decisions, that you make in these particular situations. So yeah,
Right.
it is not easy. Long distance, look, it's not. And depending on your love language,
Right.
right, that has a lot to do with it as well. Because yeah, if you are a physical touch person, I mean,
And I am.
I don't have nothing for that.
Right.
Even the virtual reality and the Skype and the Zoom don't do that. So, it
Yeah.
just might not work for you.
Yeah. It's something about being touched in the right way that's just like, and it's and not by any person. Like when a specific person touches you in a specific way, it's like, and it's not even about a sexual touch, but an intimate touch.
Intimacy.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So sometimes it's a touch, or like in proximity. Like for me, I might be missing you, but I don't want to talk. It's like I just want you in my space.
I'm like that.
And it's like it's not even about like right up under me. Like if we shooting right now, she can be sitting right there, and I can just be like, and I'm back into what I'm doing. It's like I want to, look over there and just be like, hey, like, hey, when I'm done with this, I'm coming over there,
My Lord.
But it's like the little things, like knowing that someone is there. Like if I do want to talk, or like just walk in the room and steal a kiss and then go back into the other room, or like when you go to bed, it's like you got some warmth there. You know what I mean? And so certain things, it's just certain things that you experience in life, and then you, as along the way, you look like, hey, these are things that I need because I feel a certain way when I have them.
Right.
But you also figure out that you don't feel that same way with everybody that occurs. So you might be laying with somebody and it's like, this don't feel right. I don't feel that feeling laying with this person. You know what I mean? And so I think that's part of like how you figure out like who's who in your life and what's what.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's quite the journey. I'm glad you found yours. I'm like, ooh.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah, it's more than emotion. And it takes
easy.
time, but you just got to be patient.
Absolutely, which is not something that everybody can exercise. Drea on TV said this a while back, but I wanted to make sure that we mentioned it. I think your love language, excuse me, changes at times based on who you're with, and I think this was around when you were talking about, has the pandemic affected anybody's, love language, and so she had that to say.
My cousin said, "Don't be patient." What you mean, cuz? What you mean by don't? When you say don't be patient, why not? What's up? Talk to us.
Yeah, give us some feedback. And again, while we're waiting, shout out to everybody that's with us for the very first time, or if you're joining us from our new platform over on, we've been on YouTube for our episodes, but streaming on YouTube. Welcome. Every first Thursday of the month, we are live 6 p.m. Pacific. Oh, shoot. Yeah, this is your family. Dropping scriptures. Yeah. I know y'all related. I know you related. I know you're related.
Go come armed.
Yeah. I can appreciate that too.
I need to go put on my bonnet right now.
Your helmet of salvation. Yes. No, I agree. I being patient, I think sometimes we want things that we are not yet ready for, or God can still be preparing us. A lot of times we're thinking like, oh, I wish someone's, there are no good men out here, or all the women are blah, blah, blah. And sometimes literally they're in our circle, in our space, but there's a blockage there because there's work that needs to be done on us, or maybe, they're still being prepared. And so in that regard, I can see where patience is being exercised so that you don't go and just connect to anybody while what is being crafted for you or what you're being prepared for is in waiting. So I think that is what I would agree with you on being patient, not just I'm just gonna fall back and wait for my blessing to fall in my lap. Now that part we don't.
Yeah, and see what I'm unpacking from what my cousin is talking about. I disagree about the don't be patient part. Got to be patient, but what I'm gathering from what he's quoting, I'm not being patient and inactive. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm active in figuring out who I am in this time. So that when she comes, like, all right, I'm comfortable and I have a relationship with myself, so I can recognize the me in her. And so we can call you on this episode talking about next episode.
I was like,
this is live. If you want to jump on, let me know. We'll send you the link.
Yeah. You could jump on or get your fingers to click in so we can read what you have to say.
Right. So I think it goes back to that conversation that I explained that I had with my father, right? When we were talking about predestination, and we were discussing in Jeremiah, but also Genesis. So in Jeremiah, when it says, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. So we're talking about an intimate relationship with God before we were ever made flesh, right? So that means before we met, there was already a relationship, because God already knew who he was and he knew who we were before we ever met in, in flesh. So in Genesis, if we were made in his image and after his likeness, we're not just talking about physical likeness and everything else, but we are the very essence of God. Who he is who we are, especially as men, right? So as man, I am also God and like God, then that means my relationship with my counterpart starts before we ever meet in flesh. But how does that occur? That occurs with me working on myself, right? Figuring out who I am going to be, what my purpose is, what my path is, so that when I meet her, I'm already in purpose. And then I tie that, and I don't even want to get too preachy because there's just so much to it. But then there was a message by Miles Monroe, the late Miles Monroe, where he was talking about Eden, and he was explaining how Eden was not a physical place, but a state of being, right? And so that Eve was taken from Adam while he was in Eden, when he was in communion with God. You see what I mean? And so it's that place when we are in Eden, right? We are in that place to where we are one with God, one with ourselves, knowing who we are. That's when our counterpart comes. And so it's not about finding her. It's about the recognition of myself in her. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the intentional part and the active part, while also being patient. So it's not like, okay, well, here's one to me, a lack of patience is, here's one that's available, jump on it. And that's not where I am. It's like, okay, she can be fine. Like, there's a situation recently, like almost like 9 out of 10 things lined up, but that 10th was a very important thing. You know what I mean? And so it's like, and you can't be scared to count your losses, even as hard as it could be, because you're like, dang, if this one thing was different, we could be together.
Right. So, that one thing can make for a very long.
Yeah. And I think you just gotta be brave. But trust me, it is difficult, because there's no lack of great women in the world or in my life, but it's about the right one. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Let me get this.
Link. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we said the same thing. Of course, Barzini uses more words to say it, but we are very much in agreement with that synopsis.
I don't know if that was a shot or just facts.
It is. I'm like, I'm trying to keep it.
I get it. I'm not.
He wants to make sure that you understand. He wants to make sure that you got it. So
I'm a clarity person.
I love it. I think I used to be like that. And now I'm like, I really don't care if you don't get it. I've said it. And I moved on to the next thing. Replay it, or reread my text or my email if I've written it to you. I can't do it with folks. All right, so we're gonna get a guest, and honestly, we have room for several. So if anybody else wants to jump on and talk to us, now we are talking. Don't try to get on anybody. Don't get on here and start talking about something that's not what we're talking about. You see? Okay, we are discussing long
Long
distance
distance
relationships and
and
love
love language.
languages. Now, also, depending on how much time we have and how the conversation goes, I called Barzini yesterday because I happened to tune in to, what's his name?
Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels, his broadcast last night. Child, I told I said I didn't know whether to clap or throw my laptop. Like I had moments of conflict throughout the whole doggone situation.
I popped in there for literally a quick second.
I didn't know what to do with myself. Okay.
Or him.
Or him. I was just like, oh Lord, this is a lot.
Yeah, I think because you know what? It's like you love him and you hate him simultaneously. Because certain things that he says is like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that was what it was. He was talking about the fact that he felt, you know, in what he was talking about. I won't get us too far off the subject, but in what he was talking about, he was like, I feel like women, you get what I'm saying, you just don't want to accept it. And I was like, there it is, right? Like it was, and that's when I went from wanting to chuck the thing to like, oh, okay. I think he's hit me on the head. Like, yeah, it just sucks. Like this is the reality. We cannot change it, and we don't like it. And so therefore, you know, this is kind of what you're dealing with. Or and also you don't have to deal with it. But his thing is, if you're gonna deal with this man or this type of man, you more than likely will have to deal with it. And so then, you know, it puts the ball back in our court about whether or not, you know, this is a person or this type of person is the one that you want to be with. And woo, child.
But see, and I wonder if people are more upset with what he says or how he says it, because he's very direct.
Yeah,
you know, like, and that's why we're kindred spirits in a certain thing. Like I've kind of evolved in the sense that I try to be more careful as I've gotten older. Because you remember, you know, years ago, I didn't give a fuck how you felt. It's like this is what it is, you know. And sometimes I still, you know, I'm still there, but for the most part, it's like he's just very direct, and so it's like,
and it's not even. I don't even think it. Well, when I was listening to him, I didn't feel like he delivered the information any kind of way or harshly. I feel like if you try to refute it, then he was on your neck. It's like, I'm giving this to you because this is what it is. And then he's gone on about his business. But if you tried to, you know, tell him that's not it, or, but, you know, then the fangs would come out.
Right. And now I didn't watch last night, but what I've typically seen that when, and so I would probably have a problem with it too. And Chief, we're talking about Kevin Samuels. And I sent you the link. So click that.
I was like, we're waiting on you. That's why we're talking about this. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, it's like you call into his show asking him questions, and then he gives you the answer, and you argue it, and that's when it's like,
it gets rough. I said,
right, because it's like if you got the answers, then why you calling? And so that's, and I know that.
Well, he asked specifically for people to call and disagree. So
you know what, I did see. So the part that I saw, he was like, hey, if you find yourself not winning the exchange, like just take your L and go. Like, don't try to
pick it up and go home. Don't go back on your platform and talk about me.
But also, I think that's a setup. I wouldn't do something like that because he runs the platform. Like that's like somebody trying to come on here and debate me. You on my platform. It's one, it's probably not fair if we on equal ground, but two, you're not gonna come on my platform and think, because I have all the control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have the audience. I have, you know what I'm saying, the co-host, like this, you know. Now, if I come on your platform, maybe it might be different, but you still need to be armed with information, logic, facts, whatever you use. You know what I mean? And so for me, my tool are your words. I typically don't bring new stuff. I might like state my point, and then I start listening to you. And people, if someone is arguing from an emotional standpoint, they're typically gonna have holes in their argument, and it's easy to point out. And so I'm like, well, first you said this, but now this. So which is it? You know, and then they get frustrated because like, no, I meant this, and I'm like, well, which one is it? You said both though. So, and now I pretty much got them arguing with their own thoughts rather than anything that I've said.
And it's amazing. It's hazing. If you know about it, you know about it. If you don't even step foot in the ring. Just leave it alone. It's hazing. That's what it is.
That's
Cuzzo has dinner reservations. I understand. I got dinner waiting on me when we're done with this as well. So we'll see you next time.
How does that feel to be able to say I got dinner waiting on me? Look at
it's a wonderful thing. Well, as you and because I ain't trying to paint, any type of picture. As you know, when we were doing live last week, what was I doing when I got off of here?
One, you was rushing off so you can go cook dinner.
There you go. Okay, so it feels good to have a partner. It absolutely feels fantastic. Some days it's on me, many days it's on me, and some days, and I especially love it when because I write out my daily schedule, so he knows what's going on. He's like, oh, this is a day where I need to get it. I don't even have to do that, and so that is an amazing feeling, and it has been worth it to be patient to get to this space. Absolutely. So
that's the real dope. One day.
I'm learning. One day. Absolutely, for you. I'm learning, y'all. Okay, Tiffany, I'm definitely learning tonight some things. Well, good. That this is a space for us all to learn. But let us know what you learned.
Let us know what you learned. Yeah. What's something that you came in one way thinking, and now like that shift,
Yes. Hashtag boo. Come on, Ms. Jones.
That's somebody that listens to the show knowing hashtag boo.
If hashtag boo, then yes, you definitely listen to the show. And speaking of listening to the show, what are some of your standouts in the episode? So we talked about love languages. We talked about well, that's the one that came out today. So maybe you haven't listened to it yet, but that one's out. Last week we did long distance relationships. What did we do before that? I'm trying to think of a couple.
Before that was Is This Your King? Where we talked about Derek Jackson.
Forget.
But y'all, we've also talked about, we had an episode called All in the Family. We were talking about your family's involvement in your relationships, like how much involvement, how much credence do we get our family members.
That was good. That was like one of my favorite episodes to record. We had so much fun. We were cracking up, and
there was X's and O's. X's and O's was talking about should you?
That was our very first episode.
That was our very like, is it okay to be in contact with exes like when you're in a relationship? I want to do one about no new friends.
No new friends.
So like, if you're in a relationship and having new friends of the opposite sex, like is that okay? How do we feel about that?
Why is that necessary? And I am not a you can't person, right? And I'm not in a relationship with a you can't person, but I, just thinking about that, like, what is the need? Like, my new male friends I've gotten as a result of being in a relationship with him, but I'm trying to think, like, have I met just some random dude that's now my friend? I don't even, and this is, again, I haven't been told I can't, but I don't even accept friend requests on social media from like, I don't care who you are. Like, what is it that we have to talk about?
Like, what would you talk about with anybody? And I think sometimes it's the thought that
fair, because I don't accept random friend requests even from women. So
right. But I think there's this like this thought that if someone new comes in that they trying to get at you, or there's a possibility or whatever, you know what I mean? When typically it's somebody that you already know that's probably waiting in the wings, more so than somebody new. And I just think we're not monoliths. We don't stop living just because we've gotten in a relationship or gotten engaged or gotten married. We still interact with people. And so it's kind of like, oh, no, like I have 10 dude friends already, but they were here before I got married, so they can stay. But you, not after. I can't do. Like, I just don't believe in that. Like, we interact with people, and it's up to us to navigate our friendships, relationships, and interactions, and respect our relationship. Because if you don't respect your relationship, it don't matter if they new or old. You're gonna do what you're gonna do.
Right. And I guess I just speak to the type of person I am, because I'm generally no new friends
Mhm.
period. It really doesn't have anything. Like the people that I have developed, friendships with in the last, 5 or 6 years, it's all been by accident.
Mhm.
Definitely wasn't anything out seeking friends because, I like my circle and I'm cool. But
Mhm.
they all, are as a result of a larger purpose, as far as I'm concerned. It's like, in the pink bubble, and I see some women that I have met through my direct sales business. So there's that,
Mhm.
of course, our Greek affiliations, there's that. But like friends, it's one thing to like meet somebody and be acquainted. But I don't, at this point in my life, I'm like, who am I what man am I connected to as a friend, or am I trying to
Mhm.
build a friendship with?
Right. And I like I said, I just don't see any difference between it being a man or a woman, right? Because we wouldn't even think about that. Like if I was out chilling, because it's not uncommon, like when the fellas get together, one of the fellas got one of their homeboys there, like, hey, this my partner Chris, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And we're like, oh, what's up, Chris? And then like Chris is part of the conversation. It's like, okay, oh, Chris, cool. Hey, yeah, you got to come through, bro. And then, you on the social media, and all of a sudden he's like part of the crew, right? So why is that different if it's a woman? You know what I mean? So
Do you
somebody might,
really are you asking that for real, or are you just trying to stir the pot? Do you
no,
really don't see the difference?
what's the problem?
Okay,
No, I'm legit asking because I don't see the problem with it.
I mean, it's not necessarily a problem, but to say what's the difference, there is a difference because one is a man and one is a woman, and
I
it
mean,
maybe
outside
not be
of
a difference if you were gay, then maybe it wouldn't be
no,
an
no,
issue.
no. So why is it as a straight man? We going to we a whole new episode, but it's fine. It's
Well,
fine.
right, no
So
new friends, a whole new
because
episode.
because I'm a because I'm a man, or because you're a woman, somebody of the opposite sex who become acquainted with, where it's like it's a no just because of their gender, like as if we're that weak. And I'm not talking about like men, or I'm talking about just as people, that just because we meet somebody new, we're susceptible to some sort of romantic interaction.
Maybe, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's you. First of all, I didn't say it was a no-no, so I'm going to make sure I'm clear about that. But that it would not potentially make somebody feel a kind of way. Now you have to know your partner. Maybe in your relationship or when you're in one, your wife or your girlfriend will say, go ahead and do what you want to do.
Mhm.
But in some relationships, yeah, the partner would, what kind of interaction is this? Now, I am open to, and I know, friends that are like, hey, the group friendship type situation, but even with exes, new people, when you're having these one-on-one kind of secretive dealings, that can stir up some stuff
Oh
for
yeah,
your
I
partner.
mean, if you want some secret shit, yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
yeah,
that's
out
different.
loud and everybody
No,
knows and
so
it's on the up
I
and up. I
mean,
don't.
right? I mean, like we're out. You know, we met somebody. It was at a bar. Okay, for instance, me and the fellas was out. There was some lady sitting at the bar. One of them was having a birthday. I sent her around the drinks. Hey, happy birthday!
Okay.
Just being nice. They came over and was like, "Thank you." We all started chopping it up. We got cool. I was like, "Yeah," because we all like that was the meeting spot. They met at that spot a lot. We meet at that spot a lot. Like, oh, you know what? Let's keep in contact. When we're up here, like we'll see y'all, and we all got cool. Now they're married. Like my boys is married, right? But
Mm-hmm.
eventually their wives met them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it wasn't like, oh, no, we on some secretive, blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh, yeah, this is such and such. We met them through bars, like, which was true,
Mm-hmm.
because I said, and we became friends, like, just through that interaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, if you want some secret shit, that's something completely different. I believe in transparency. So it's like, yeah, I was out, I met this person, da 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 da. She's like, well, how do you know her? Oh, you know what? We met at this thing, or we met at the blah 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 blah. She cool, whatever. It's like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
about to, you know, like I'm not hiding. Like, hey, don't hit me after here. Like, nah,
Right.
like
Okay. Yeah.
it's a
I mean,
no.
if everything is on the up and up, I
Mhm.
trust, and you have to. You're in a relationship with someone, and you have to make the decision to trust them to do right by themselves, but also to do right by you. And so, if you don't have that, even when they're not doing anything, it can look like something. But at the same time, I think, sometimes we just want to avoid craziness. And like I said, I just can't think of a situation right now that I'm like, yeah, even somebody that I've met while out, like, oh, we need to exchange information or we need to go out and get, like, just having a good time while you're in the company of men and women that you just meet or maybe know just a little bit. Like, that's good enough for me. I don't,
Right, but
or
but
hey, I'm having a birthday, my birthday's coming up or whatever. Oh, make sure you invite, such and such and so. But like that, we need to be kicking in, going to lunch and talking on the phone and stuff like that. I don't necessarily see
I mean,
the reason
how
for that.
I
And
think
maybe just because it hasn't come up in my life yet.
right,
So
the way that looks, the way that interaction looks, I think varies. I mean, I'm not somebody who talks on the phone like that anyway. You know, between like you and Maisha and a couple other people, I don't really talk on the phone like that. you know, and we talk every week for hours on end because we're doing this. So
right.
it's but I just, if you put it in perspective, and I'm not saying you, but there are people that literally are saying this. Because we are together, everybody who was in your life before me are now the only people who get to be in your life, and anybody else is like not welcome, or I'm going to suspect some shit. It's like, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know how much life I have to go? And I now have to live the rest of my life only with these people right here. And we know that, and so even if in a relationship people grow, people change, we can grow apart. That same thing can happen with friendships. So
Yeah.
now, like, I'm not gaining any new friendships, which means my current ones only have the opportunity to dwindle and die.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So now it's like I'm just, and we're colonial people. That's not how we're built. And I just feel like that mindset is built out of insecurity. You're not protecting anything. You cannot stop somebody. You can contribute to someone cheating. We've talked about that before, but if someone has made that decision, you can't stop it. Only thing you can do is take care of home and make home somewhere that your partner wants to come to every day. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so it's like, if you so worried about what, like, you can't control, you don't, let's say they get a new job, they're gonna meet people, they're gonna form new relationships there. What you gonna say? Oh, no new friend. Like, you can't go to work and talk to nobody. You can't make friends at work. Like, no, don't, you can't work on
Well,
that
I
team.
hope not. Like I said, I hope it's not that far. But that, to me,
But it's
there's
not
a
a
reason there. It's like you go to work, you're working on projects together. Maybe it's lunch or whatever. Like, that makes sense. Versus, I met somebody at a bar, and
so
now this is my bestie. I don't know. Maybe it's not a difference, but
is it
I'm
more
just.
than, so what I'm hearing, and correct me, it's for you, it's more about the how it happened more than that it happened.
I guess I have not lived it. Shout out to being an introvert with an introvert. We don't do people. So we barely do the people that we know and like. So all this new stuff is like, we could take it or leave it. But the bottom line is I trust him. So whatever. And I have not been in a situation where I have been blindsided by like, well, who is that? I encourage, it. I encourage,
Well,
like,
there was that.
go.
I mean, there was that Bobby pin that was.
Right. The Bobby pin story before we were even officially together. So I don't even count that. Since then, we've been cool.
Listen,
and that was definitely me. And
the Bobby pin was a whole bitch. Like,
what episode was that? Oh, that was with Amber and Deshaun. Was that with Amber and Deshaun?
We told this. I think we told the story. I know we told the story in that one, but we probably told it in another episode. But I feel like you
episode
gave
7, y'all.
You gave her a name. Like, I feel like you knew what she looked like.
That was a long day. That was a long day.
I'm a bit faded right now because I've been drinking.
That was a long day.
That story gets more hilarious every time I think about it. It was so hilarious, y'all. I came home one day and there was a bobby pin by my doormat in front of my door, and I took a picture. I left it there for so long in honor of Dre and this bobby pin. Look at her.
Wow. All
I'm
I
glad
can
you can
say is
laugh
I'm
at it now.
glad. Oh yeah. Well, I laughed at it immediately after I found out that, it wasn't nothing, but in the moment. Okay,
Right.
girl, come on, Miss Jones.
Look.
That bobby pin.
Okay, so
But I wasn't even.
his
I don't know if
response
I
was the
was
greatest.
mad. I was so shocked. Like I was just like in disbelief. Like this can't be what I think it is. Like it has to be something else. But my brain, I could not come up with
Because
anything
you know
else.
what that was? I just feel like that bobby pin represented all of the ghosts of boyfriends past.
Oh yeah, niggas pass. That's what it was.
And that's what it was. And so for him to come up there and use like, "Who's the bitch?" And he's like, "Wait, what?" He was like, "No, I cleaned my ear with this. Where was it? I've been looking for it." And it starts cleaning it.
That's not exactly what happened. He putting a creative license on it. But yes, like
I mean, he didn't clean his ear with it.
No, not in the moment. No.
I mean, but that's what he used it for. I thought he did.
No.
It's funnier like that. So
and I certainly didn't say who's the bitch. I didn't get into that. I know. Okay, so it's like y'all gotta listen to the story because Barzini done took it and made it a Hollywood feature film.
Hey, that's how we gonna get it pitched.
Now tell me who she was.
I gotta send you.
Come on, Miss Jones.
I gotta send you this clip from TC I Kill You. He had a skit talking about women back in the day versus women now. And they were showing up to the house, and the women back in the day was like, "Oh my God, your place is so nice. This, whatever, all just super meek and everything." And then the modern woman came in like looking all thought. It was him dressed up as women or whatever. And she's like, this nice. And then went to the bathroom clean. He turned around talking about, "Do the bitch got a key?" He's like, what are you talking about? The bitch.
And grabbing air.
Right, grabbing air like your bathroom too clean. Talking about your mirror clean, your toilet spot is clean. You got a trash can by the toilet, got wipes on the toilet. Talking about niggas don't clean mirrors. Talking about so the nigga bathroom was clean, so he had to have a talking about and spin around talking about, "Dude, the bitch got a key."
that bobby pin, child. I just was. It was all the feelings. It was just all the feelings. But I was just like, there has to be something else. I know I didn't get played again, because clearly that wouldn't have been the first time.
Right. But the crazy part is because you know who he is, because everyone knows who he is, it would take a lot for anyone to even remotely believe that he would do something like that.
Right, but everybody's holding on to the edge of their seat when they hear that story. Well, not everybody, because this is the first time it's ever hit the airwaves. But the few people that knew it was all like, "Wait, where's this going?"
Right,
because if you're like me, you are trying to flip it in your brain before you get to the end. Like you said, because of who he is, it's like, no, there's got to be something else. But you can't.
Right, because that's what. But when you are on the phone with me, I'm sitting here like, ask him. Like that's not like I've been on the road with this man when he was a single man and had all the space and opportunity. Like on the road when I had women around me and I was doing my thing, and he's chilling because half the time he was passed out. But
bless it.
Because he drinking gasoline, but
bless it.
But that's just never been who he was. You know what I'm saying?
Thank God.
So that's why I was like, you telling me so I'm like, wait, what? Nah.
I didn't know what to do. But here we are, almost 6 years later.
And we still together.
Still together. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. So again, everybody, we're talking, and we've talked some other things at this point, but
Right.
covering the episodes on love languages and long distance relationships. And we want to hear more from you. If you've ever been in a long distance relationship and you want to talk about it, or you have some things that maybe you picked up from the episodes, we would love to hear. Go ahead and type it in the comments. Also, what are some upcoming topics that you want us to get into? If you missed it, or if you came in after we started talking about it, we've actually created a new community. It's the Crossroads community. You can get to it by utilizing that bit.ly. I'm going to also drop it in the chat, so you can just click it. You can go to the link in our bio if you're watching us on Instagram. And simply click the button that says join the Crossroads community. We're also asking you to invite those that you love, or maybe even those that you don't love, but people that, really would enjoy this type of content, and that would,
and don't be bringing no vagabonds up in there. That's just in there acting stupid and trolling.
People that would get into the conversation and bring things to them, because we don't, we are going to facilitate some conversation, but we're also looking for you, the roadies and the road dogs, to give us your input. And also, when you see different things, whether it's, in pop culture, it might be something just around the way that only you are familiar with, but you think, it would make a great topic of conversation in the group. Come drop it there. So we've invited some of you, those of you that we know, listen to us on a regular basis, and you give us feedback already. You're probably already in the group. But if not, you can absolutely click on the link in our bio, and also the link that I'm going to drop in the chat.
Dig it. Yeah. So we want to see y'all. We trying to do this thing, y'all. Y'all see the new digs. Y'all see the, what I'm saying? We done made some changes. And the changes you see means we've spent some money.
So this link goes to a couple of places.
Okay. All right. So if you want to contribute to the cause so that we can continue this and grow this and make it even better, we love that. We love the donations that jingle, but we prefer the ones that fold.
That's right. And we make it easy. Easy on you. Same bit.ly, that'll take you everywhere. You can listen to episodes. You can make a donation.
Donations.
You can also join the community. Okay. Right. One link takes you everywhere.
We're making it easy for y'all. So
definitely are.
And we appreciate everybody that's been following us thus far and been on this ride. Like, we had over 100 subscribers in the first week, and that was love. I know,
before we even dropped the episode.
Yeah, the first episode wasn't even out, and so we have over 200 subscribers, but we want to get that to at least 1,000 pretty soon. So we're gonna hit the think tank and come up with some campaigns to make that happen. Of course, we're gonna have to lean on the tribe for that. Like, we can only grow with your efforts. And that's you sharing and liking and reposting and all this other stuff. So we're going to do our best to bring you great content, great conversations, things that you can learn. We're definitely about learning ourselves. We learn from each other on this show all the time. Learn how to communicate. Sometimes we get into some heated conversations, which we've been doing that for years, y'all.
Right. We ain't new to this.
Right. But then sometimes it's like, y'all think
somebody was like, are y'all gonna be okay? I was like, oh yeah, we fine.
Yeah, we do this all the time.
It was really only that one time where I think people got scared, but I was like,
when we was like, no, we fine.
Like, listen.
Listen, if you've known me for any prolonged period of time, chances are you have had the same kind of interaction. So I don't need to. I have a knack for pissing people off, I guess. I don't know. But no, but you know what? But sometimes that happens, and I think the dynamic between me and Dre is that there's no expectation between she and I other than to be friends. Like, we're friends. So my question would be, if you had that interaction in a relationship, like, how do you come back from that? Like, are you going to be okay? Is it just that moment, or does the whole relationship now hang in the balance of that single interaction? And we talked about that too. We did an episode on Malcolm and Marie, the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie and watched that episode, we unpacked that. So, and I was going to bring up that point too, back to Kevin Samuels. He's a lot like Marie. You know why? Because her personality, she didn't get riled up a whole lot. Like there's a couple of spaces where she went there, but for the most part, she stayed pretty even keeled, and she would take them subtle shots that you don't really pay attention to because her voice pretty much stayed the same, like her level stayed the same, and he does that too. So because he doesn't yell, he doesn't do like all of that rah rah rah, and he stays. So he thinks. Often refers to I'm being respectful to you, but he thinks being respectful to you means he's not raising his voice.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's not always the case. Like you can say some real disrespectful shit, and keep a low. I'm like, man, you was a ugly motherfucker. Like, god damn, it looked like you came out the womb and someone immediately smeared shit on your face and left it there for like 3 days until you broke out. And then the shit never cleared up. Now, I didn't yell when I said that, but that's
right. Pretty tough.
And then I'll come back and was like, was I being disrespectful? Did I raise my voice at you? So did I raise my voice? Like I didn't disrespect you. No, you did disrespect me. You just didn't raise your voice.
Didn't raise your voice. Yeah.
So it's like I see some of them tricks. I'm like, this cat is initiated.
I'm saying hazing. I'm going to throw it out there.
He is a noob. He is a noob. So I think he knows the art of hazing.
Real recognizes real.
Or noob recognizes noob. So
well, that too. That too. Well, you guys are kind of quiet this evening, so we ain't gonna hold you. That's how black people do when they ready to get off the phone anyway.
Right, I'm like, I ain't gonna be on the phone 2 hours talking about I ain't want nothing. Like 2 hours later, you don't want nothing. But listen, we love y'all. For those who are still with us, make sure that you join the community. Make sure that you tune in every first Thursday of the month. That's 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, 9 Eastern time. Dre's better with the time zones.
6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
Yeah. And shout out to all of our sponsors. We are always sponsored. Our biggest sponsor, the House of 334.
Hey.
For all of your marketing, branding, and copyright needs, go to houseof334.com. It is Black owned. It is Black woman owned. So that is a double plus for that. So please check that out. And our other sponsor, Carbon 12 Clothing, please check out Carbon 12. That's Carbon 12 without the vowels.com, CRBNTWLV.com. And they have a new line right now, the Black Madonna, that's being featured. So check that out. Get your Carbon 12 clothing. So shout out to everybody that joined us. Shout out to my cousin who's gonna be on next time. Shout out to Nadia Jones and the headphones. We love you. Shout out to Dre.
It is spring break. This is like one of the last things that I have to do before.
I had spring break 2 weeks ago and I'm jealous. So
to go be booed up.
All right, well, y'all, it's been real. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all as always. I'm your man.
Hold on, before you do that, just give us feedback on kind of the new. Well, Instagram, you look the same as you always look, but but for everybody else,
tell us about the new look. Do you like it? Should we change it? Give us suggestions. Send us a message. You can DM us or join the community. Post it there. Hit one of us up on our personal pages. We welcome all of that. So if there's nothing else, are we ready?
We ready.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm your man, Hunter Greg, your personal agent for change, making life easy, Barzini.
And I'm fempreneur extraordinaire, tech diva all day, Dre Renee.
And this has been the Crossroads. And always remember, be free,
to be you.
We love y'all.
Peace.